We are asked to write the given quadratic function in vertex form. Notice right now the quadratic function is in general form. To write the function in vertex form, we will use the formula shown here to determine the vertex. Once we determine the vertex, this will give us h and k in vertex form, and then the value of a in vertex form is the same as the value of a in general form. Let's begin by determining the values of a, b, and c. A is the coefficient of x squared, which is 3. B is the coefficient of x, because we have minus 10x, b is negative 10. C is the constant term, because we have minus 5, c is negative 5. The next step is to determine the equation of the axis of symmetry, given by x equals negative b divided by 2a. And because the vertex is on the axis of symmetry, this x value also gives us the x-coordinate of the vertex. So for x equals negative b divided by 2a, we have b equals negative 10 and a equals 3, which gives us negative 10, or the opposite of negative 10, divided by 2 times a, which is 2 times 3. Simplifying, we have positive 10 over 6. Leaving this in fraction form, we can simplify by dividing 10 and 6 by 2, which gives us the equivalent simplified fraction of 5/3. Which means now we know the vertex has an x-coordinate of 5/3, and therefore h is equal to 5/3. To determine the y-coordinate of the vertex, we need to determine the function value when x equals 5/3, which is f of negative b divided by 2a. So for f of 5/3, we substitute 5/3 for x, which is equal to 3 times the square of 5/3 minus 10 times 5/3 minus 5. Simplifying, the square of 5/3 is 25/9, giving us 3 times 25/9. And then here we can write 10 as a fraction with a denominator of 1, giving us minus 50/3. And let's write minus 5 as minus 5/1. Multiplying here, let's write 3 as a fraction with a denominator of 1. Multiplying, we have 75/9. We are going to have a common denominator. Let's use the LCD of 9. Let's write 50/3 as an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 9 by multiplying the numerator and denominator by 3, which gives us minus 150/9. And then for 5/1, we multiply the numerator and denominator by 9, giving us minus 45/9. Now that we have a common denominator, we can simplify. The denominator remains 9. In the numerator, we have 75 minus 150, which is negative 75, minus 45, which is negative 120. We now know f of 5/3 equals negative 120/9, but this does simplify because 120 and 9 share a common factor of 3. This simplifies to negative 40/3. So now we know the y-coordinate of the vertex is negative 40/3. We know k is equal to negative 40/3, and we already determined a is equal to positive 3. This is all we need in order to write the function in vertex form. In vertex form, we have f of x equals a, which is 3, times the quantity x minus h squared, which in our case gives us the quantity x minus 5/3 squared, plus k gives us plus negative 40/3, but plus negative 40/3 is equivalent to minus 40/3, so let's rewrite this as f of x equals 3 times the quantity x minus 5/3 squared minus 40/3. Let's verify this graphically by graphing the function in vertex form. If we graph the function in vertex form, this is the graph of the function. Notice how the vertex is the point 4/3 comma negative 40/3, this point here. Because a is positive, notice how the parabola opens up, and for the last check, notice how the vertical intercept, or the y-intercept, is negative 5, which in general form is the value of c. Notice how here we have c equals -5. I hope you found this helpful.